Clarf Nation, what's up? I wouldn't say I'm trying to make Clarf Nation happen. It's just happening. It's happening to all of us together. I can't help that. I can't help that it's just happening. If you watched my last vlog, thank you. I'm sorry that I had to cut it short. But like I said, I really wanted to get it out so I could... This is the price you pay to live in the big city. But I really wanted to put it up so I could keep going and make this next one where I'm talking about the Netflix documentary. But that movie feels long to me. It just feels long. Okay, while I'm being petty, the volume on the movie was very low for some reason. I had to turn it up really loudly, and then because Netflix feels the need to play things at the end of movies, it started auto-playing a trailer for Yummy Mummies just ridiculously loudly last night when I was watching it. I don't know why that happens, but it's annoying, and I'm annoyed. The Netflix one focused a lot on the influencers and this commercial that they shot for Fyre Festival that they had all posted on Instagram. It focused a lot on that. It focused a lot on Billy McFarland, of course. It also focused a lot on this guy. I'll have to look at his name. Was it Andy? The kind of older guy who said Jeepers at one point. Bless his heart, that was adorable. They focused more on him and like the actual logistics of the festival and how they were setting it up and everything. It felt darker to me, almost. I felt kind of more like disturbed by the whole thing watching it. Disturbed is maybe a strong word, but so many people knew this wasn't going to happen. They just kept going along with it. All of them seemed to have this feeling like, what were we supposed to do? When, like, it feels like somebody could have pulled the cord at some point. Somebody could have done something. They kept saying nobody got hurt, but I really think that they're incredibly lucky that nobody got hurt. When human beings are in a situation like that where they're like panicking, don't know where they're going to sleep, don't know where they're going to eat, don't know how they're going to get back home, it could have gotten really, really ugly. And just even medically, what if there was some kind of medical emergency? It just seems like so many people were like, this makes no sense, it's never going to work, but I just kept going along with it because Billy. Let's talk about Ja Rule.
Where would I be without my baby?
That's Ja Rule, right?
'Cause every thug needs a lady. Yeah.
My Ja Rule impression is on Fyre Festival. In the Hulu documentary, Ja Rule seemed just sort of maybe like not terribly bright and just like an enthusiastic investor kind of thing. He just didn't seem like super involved beyond just kind of being Billy's little friend and like a face. However, I thought in the Netflix documentary, Ja Rule was super unlikable. No! No! Wow. Wow, I did not like him in this movie. He says the F word constantly. When he's yelling at Grant about going to the pig island, he's going, you know, we paid a lot of effing money to go to this effing island, so we're gonna go to the effing island. It's just like partying, and there's the weird scenes with like the models and Billy and Ja Rule. I almost got a vibe like he and Billy are kind of like Tom Cruise and David Miscavige, right? Where Billy's kind of the brains and the leader, but a really important piece of everything is Ja Rule, because he kind of lends this sort of authenticity to it. And I mean, I realize it's Ja Rule and Tom Cruise are not quite at the same level of fame. When they get into talking about the actual logistics of the festival, Ja Rule's sort of nowhere to be found. I don't know if he was even in the Blue House or whatever it was at the time of the festival. They took a lot more time, I think, to explain how people got sucked into it and how people got duped in the first place to like invest in it. They get sucked in, and then some people will be like, well, we tried to tell Billy it wasn't going to work, or like we tried to tell Ja Rule. And of course, they always say, like, we're solutions oriented, not problems oriented, that we do positive thinking, and if you can't do that, then you're welcome to leave the project. And they hadn't been paid yet, so they stick around. It seems like nobody tries to do anything more than that. Like, well, I tried to tell Billy and he kind of brushed me off, and so I just kept going along with it. To the point where the people are on the island, that's what I can't believe is that nobody pulled the plug on this like before people actually got to the island. You know, everybody when it happened talked about the people who bought tickets, the Instagrammers. Were they victims? Do we feel bad for it? That's always what the internet wants to talk about, right? Should we feel bad for these people? Of course, people were making lots of jokes about, like, oh, you know, boohoo and castaway jokes, memes, Twitters, what have you, all that kind of kid stuff. But the thing that the Netflix documentary brought up a lot more than the Hulu one, I think, was the actual workers from Exuma who didn't get paid, and they put in just tons of hours working on it. And Billy is so like manipulative that the one guy on the island is still like he gets a call from Billy at the end of the show, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Got anything you want me to say?"
Billy, what's up, Billy?
He truly does seem to be like a master manipulator. He just gets everybody to feel an emotional connection with him and believe in his vision and want to help him. And he just takes advantage. It doesn't seem like there was anyone who truly had knowledge of the full scope of the fraud that Billy was committing. So I will say that in their favor. And you see the Andy guy. Doesn't he remind you of like the parents who are really enabling on like intervention? He really doesn't want anything bad to happen to Billy. And he really believes that Billy is a good person. I do think that he sees the best in Billy, I guess. He makes the comment about Woodstock that people died of drug overdoses at Woodstock and they didn't have enough food and water, but Woodstock has this reputation that overcomes all of those things. So maybe Fyre Festival would be okay. You're basically saying, like, well, even if there's not enough food and water and maybe some people die for one reason or another, maybe it'll still be okay for Billy, for the reputation of Fyre Festival, for Billy. Oh my goodness, man. I don't know if he hears himself. I don't know if he really hears himself when he's saying this stuff. Some people I understand more too, like the real young guy. He said he was like 21 and put in charge of musical acts, and I can understand more from someone that young. It would be nice if anyone learned anything from this, but I'm not so sure that anyone is. Obviously, Billy isn't, and I can't imagine he would be affected by this. What do you think? Do you think that Billy McFarland will see consequences? Like long term. Like, is he ruined? Can he never be successful again now? Because I don't think so, personally. I don't think so at all. He just seems like one of those people who always manage to rise from the ashes and reinvent themselves and find new people to scam. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Oh, and another thing that really made me kind of angry in this one is the guy who was supposed to do the yoga instruction. So the yoga looking guy. he was still laughing about this rainstorm. He was talking about it like this kind of funny, like, you know, like you might talk about a time you got in trouble in high school. Like, oh, remember that time when Mrs. Higgins caught us behind the gym? And then you have this woman in Exuma who has spent all this money of her savings just to pay her people that she had to call in to accommodate the food for all of these people, and they're not getting paid. It's ridiculous. Oh, and the other thing that pissed me off about, can I say pissed? The other thing that, whatever, I'm saying pissed. The thing that pissed me off about Andy, when he, screensaver, you're not welcome here. He's talking about when the festival has failed and they're all still down there on the island, and a mob of angry locals are coming to demand their money. Andy trades clothes with someone, hides in a car, in the backseat of a car, and like stows away to get out of town. I can't believe that's real life. I can't believe that's something that actually happened in real life. And he's giving the interview about it, and he's saying, well, at that point, it was a safety issue for me. It wasn't safe for me to be there, so I had to get out any way I could. You don't care about the safety issue you created for... He's, like, acting like he needs to be sorry that he left Billy. Again, get out of your, like, this universe where Billy is at the center and look at the whole picture here. He doesn't seem to see his responsibility in it. To him, he was just trying to help Billy. That's what it seems like. And still, he's like, I hope Billy doesn't have to go to prison. Andy, brother, go on Dr. Phil, please. Dr. Phil. It's like nothing's real to them. The way that they act with the plane that they fly in, the guy that just learned to fly.
I ended up teaching myself, and you can use Microsoft Flight Simulator. Microsoft Flight Simulator has lessons, and it's excellent.
And they're like flipping around in his plane. Do they not think they can die? I don't understand. I'm constantly aware of the fact that I could die. What else? What else? All in all, I liked both of these documentaries. The subject matter is very interesting. The Hulu one was a bit more fun to watch. The Netflix documentary felt long to me. I just didn't enjoy it as much. It didn't feel fun to watch. Maybe it was the commenters, like the tone. Because the Hulu one, people definitely, it seemed like they were trying to be funny and snarky. And I don't know how appropriate that is given the situation necessarily. To kind of act like it was just like a silly thing that happened. Is it more serious than that? Should it have a dark tone? Should it not be like a fun thing to watch? Maybe, I don't know. This is definitely one of the greatest ethical questions of our time. People will be talking about this for centuries. But they both were very different. It's definitely worth it to watch both of them if you like one or the other. The Hulu one was definitely the better one if you're only going to watch one because you're persnickety, your time. Alright, so those are my thoughts on the two documentaries, my Chuck Woolery thing. So thanks for watching. I hope you leave a comment because I really, really want to know what other people are thinking about these movies and Fyre Festival. Let me know if you thought that the Hulu one was better than the Netflix one. I hope you enjoyed all my shoulder cleavage, and I'll see you soon. Choo-choo. Adios, muchachos. Do you know I speak Spanish? Okay, bye.